Hi, it's Tina from Pilates. I hope you're well. So one of the main questions I get asked is whether somebody needs to have a block or a pillar under their head when they're laying on their back in a supine position doing Pilates exercises. So how do you know whether you do or not? You have to start at your feet, believe it or not. Now obviously you don't ever have a block or a pillar under your head when you're doing any of the moves that moves the upper body as well. So for instance the bridge, if you're doing the bridge and you're coming up onto your shoulders, you wouldn't have anything on your head, under your head at all. This is for exercises when your upper body is staying nice and still and you're working your lower body and your core muscles. So how do you know? You start at the feet. Now what do I mean by that? When we get into any position in Pilates, whether that's standing, 4-point kneeling, on our fronts in a prone position or on our backs in a supine position, we have to set our bodies up. It's like when you're decorating a room, you have to make sure that you prepare the room first. You can't just slap the paint on because it's not going to be a good job. Yes, you're painting the room, but how good is that job going to be? It's exactly the same with your body and Pilates. You have to set your body up so you get the most out of the moves. Yes, you can do the moves, but how effective are those moves going to be if your body is not set up correctly? So in any position, we have to set our body up. We start laying on our backs, and we can start with our feet and knees together and do what I call a Charlie Chaplin feet, where you take the toes out and then the heels. So you're making sure that your feet are hip width apart and your heels are in line with your sit bones on your bum. So in that position, you've got your feet in the correct position and you want the weight to be even between the left and right foot. That's really important. Right, the weight is even. Okay, so you're just getting your body used to being in this position, how it feels, where the weight is. So as you come up the body to your pelvis area, again, you want that to be heavy on the mat and even between your left and your right side. When you come to your lower back, your lumbar spine, that wants to be nice and light on the mat. So that's where we have our natural curve and we get into what is natural for us. Our neutral position is a little curve in our lumbar lower back. And that's where you could post a little letter if you wanted to, so that's nice and light onto the mat. We come up to our ribs area. Now that's where we want it to be heavy on the mat. We want to feel the ribs heavy onto the mat. We want to relax our shoulders away from our ears and we want our head to be heavy. Okay, so once we've set that position up and the head, we want to be looking forward and up. Okay, so we don't want to be looking behind us, so we're extending our neck, and we don't want to be tucking too far that we're looking not towards the ceiling but out in front. Okay, so we still want to be at the ceiling but looking forward. So it's a small tuck of the chin but only a small tuck of chin. Now in that position, if you feel that your ribs, you can't keep your ribs heavy on the mat, you feel them flaring out, that is where you would need to have a block or a cushion in place. Okay, it's then that if you can't keep that supine position, that set up correctly, if you find that you're overextending, if you find you're tucking too much, or if you find that you can't keep the ribs down, then that is where you need to have the block. So in that position, setting up, you've got your feet hip width apart, you're heavy on your feet, heavy in the pelvis area, light in the lumbar spine, heavy in the ribs. So if you find that you're looking too far back there, you're extending too far, you're tucking too much, and you've got no extension in the neck, or to keep your head down in that position, you're flaring the ribs up and you can't flatten the ribs down, then that is when you would place a block underneath your head or a cushion to get that alignment, correct alignment in position. Okay, so that is just a quick idea of when you may need to use a block or a cushion under your head. Any questions, give me a shout and I will look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care.